Tobago is home to a fishing facility, various churches, bars, a recreational ground, a community center, schools, and cozy guest accommodations. This lively village west of the capital, Scarborough, is our location for today's episode of Let's Talk Tobago. Welcome, I'm Davia Chambers. So, can you guess exactly where we are? For those who aren't familiar with the community, we're coming to you from Glass Haven Villa. Of course, over the next half hour, we'll explore all this villa has to offer while bringing you up to date on all the major stories happening in Tobago over the past week. Stay with us for all the details. The stage production Bitter Cassava has been well received in Tobago. Now it's embarking on a nationwide tour. Direct flights from New York to Tobago return, boosting the potential of the tourism sector. We introduced you to the winner of the recently concluded RBC Trinidad Junior Tennis Tournament Under 14 category, and later, one Tobago resident turns his dream of farming rice on the island into reality. We have all these stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us. Glass Haven is a modern 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2-story villa located in a secure community of 5 villas in Lambo. The villa has an outdoor pool and a spacious deck if you're looking to catch some sun rays or beat the heat. It's ideal for entertainment with friends or even lounging with your favorite book. The Tobago Performing Arts Company, or TPAC, has been receiving rave reviews for its theatre production, Bitter Cassava. Now it's set to take the production on a tour across the country. Producer Ryan McCool and cameraman Isaac James met with the cast during rehearsals to get a sneak peek of what patrons can expect.
Bitter.
Bitter. Bitter. Bitter. Bitter.
Bitter Cassava.
The folk musical is a genius integration of dance, song, and drama, which depicts the nuances of relationships plagued by cultural stereotypes. For the talented cast of performers and actors, the experience has been more than memorable.
The play is very touching, and being a part of this production embodies me to want to do more. It is very sad, one, and looking at the play or being a part of the play sends a sensational feeling that knowing that people outside or in the environment or in Tobago and international feel this kind of abuse, and the abuse is so strong that even though being a part of the play, they be crying and trying to,
It is a timeless piece. It could be played from now till 20 years from now, and it will still hold the same effect that it always does, because everybody could find Justina, they could find Sam, they could find Betty in their own community, and it's very relatable.
TPAC is now taking Bitter Cassava national, with 5 shows scheduled for 3 different venues across 2 islands in one massive tour.
They can expect an experience unlike anything they've ever seen before. What I would ask of people is to come in and allow themselves to be immersed in the world of Bitter Cassava.
This play is a must-see. If you haven't seen it, you have to come see. Because we have sauce, more sauce, and not just sauce.
TPAC's Bitter Cassava tour will commence in Tobago on Saturday, May 14th at the Shore Park Complex. Showtime is 7 p.m. From there, it's off to the Naparima Bowl, San Fernando in Trinidad on May 28th at 7:30 p.m. and May 29th at 6:30 p.m. The curtains will then come down on the production at the Queen's Park Oval, Port of Spain. There will be showings at this venue on June 3rd and June 4th, starting at 7:30 p.m. on both days. To find out more about the Bitter Cassava Tour or TPAC, visit the Tobago Performing Arts Company on Facebook.
On this day, not your first child.
I'm Ryan McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
So in this next story, we share with you the Roxborough Police Youth Club's latest endeavor. This one focuses on getting members involved in growing their own food. Here's more from Amadara Mills.
The Roxborough Police Youth Club is providing an avenue for its members to exercise their green thumbs via hydroponics. This method uses nutrient-filled water systems to cultivate thousands of plants, including kale, shadow benny, celery, parsley, chive, and lettuce in a small space. The project was started a few years ago, thanks to sponsorship from the New Zealand High Commission. It was revamped earlier this year with support from the Digicel Foundation. Those funds allowed the club to expand its greenhouse as well as upgrade its hydroponics systems and machinery to the nutrient film technique NFT and the deep water culture DWC. President of the club, Collis Hazel, says that hydroponics is a positive way to engage its members.
Food is sustenance, food is life, and therefore we have seen it all the time. Tobago farmers are an aging population, and therefore, as a dynamic youth organization, we need to focus our attention in ensuring that we restore that level of farming on the island. And what a better way to do than to introduce it to the young ones.
This hydroponics project and the traditional farming that takes place nearby are meant to generate income for the club. Training of 30 farmers in hydroponics is another objective. So far, about 15 people have been trained by hydroponics expert and the owner of Majestic Growers, Edmund Joseph. Those involved appreciate the benefits of this kind of farming.
A hydroponic system like this what we have here, it is less work. You don't have to water nothing. You just turn on the pipe and everything get water for itself. You come through every other day wherever you pick up the, and it's a easier way agriculture and a faster way again your produce.
This farming here is a very easy way of farming, right? No hustle, no bustle, no dirt to get how much dirt in, right? It's more control, farming than normal regular farming. We had to take out weed, cut down trees, but this now eliminated weeds and trees and everything. They just planted on water and basically coconut fiber.
The Chief Secretary, Honorable Fali Augustine, took some time to get a first-hand view of the club's latest project. He's pleased that this community-based organization has ventured into agriculture.
I'm proud of the work that the Roxborough Police Youth Club is doing. I'm proud and grateful that Digicel partnered with them as they did with the Charlottesville Police Youth Club, and I look forward to what this can produce for this area as we try to achieve some food security and food sovereignty on the island.
With greater involvement and support from all stakeholders, members of the Roxborough Police Youth Club hope to continue developing its farming ventures so that they can become sustainable sources of income for the club. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
It is now easy to travel directly between New York and Tobago as Caribbean Airlines has resumed its non-stop service from New York's JFK International Airport to A&R Robinson International Airport. The inaugural landing took place recently on the island. We have more details in this story.
Caribbean Airlines flight BW423 recently touched down at the A&R Robinson International Airport. This signals the resumption of CAL's non-stop flight service from New York to Tobago. This service provides another boost to the island's tourism sector.
This new service will place 320 additional seats into the market and offer a dual cabin experience, linking the diaspora with home and allowing for more options for flight connections via New York.
Passengers traveling on the direct service can now improve their travel experience through CAL's various products and offerings.
When you fly, you have the choice of a full Caribbean menu, which can be reserved and paid for up to 36 hours before flight departure. Imagine traveling the only airline in the world that will offer doubles, jerk, pepper pot, and lots more of our unique cuisine. We are, of course, still working on the blue food and the curry crab and dumplings.
CAL's non-stop service from JFK, New York to A&R Robinson International in Tobago is the airline's first direct flight to the island in 2 years. The country's borders had been closed due to the pandemic.
I was born in Tobago, but I was raised in New York, and this is a dream come true. My dad lives here still, and to be able to just come in and don't have to go through the hassle of Trinidad, it's such a pleasure to come in. The flight was wonderful coming in.
We were happy that they actually introduced this flight on a Thursday for us, because the Sunday to Sunday did nothing for us. You actually have a weekend to enjoy on the island. So the fact that we can come in on a Thursday and they gave us the new aircraft to come down with, that was a plus.
The reintroduction of this direct service also provides other opportunities that tourism officials are willing to explore.
It's important for us to figure out that passenger load on both legs, as well as cargo movements, will allow us to open up trade opportunities and make this sustainable in terms of dollars and cents for the airline.
Passengers arrived on CAL's 737-8, which is part of a new fleet of aircrafts. The direct service between New York and Tobago will arrive on Thursdays at approximately 12:25 p.m. From the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, I'm Juliet James reporting for Let's Talk Tobago.
Charlottesville Police Youth Club gets a newly refurbished home. We'll tell you more right after this break. Stay with us.
I decided to take the vaccine to first provide protection for myself and my family and the people around me, including my co-workers and everybody I come into contact with, including the public. In the course of my duties, I am heavily engaged in public discussion, public meets, and I do a lot of investigations in the public. So I decided, based on the empirical data provided and based on advice of my physician, that the vaccine is the way to go to protect us all. So, Vax Up, protection starts with us.
A youth skills center has been opened in Charlottesville by the Charlottesville Police Youth Club. After many years of having no place to call its own, the club can now host meetings in comfort and implement additional programs for its members in a secure, safe space. Here's more.
The Charlottesville Police Youth Club now has a place to call home. The club recently opened a youth skills center in the community. Here, members can get help with homework or learn new skills. There are even printing services and meeting spaces for the community.
We always saw the need for a youth-friendly space because youth-friendly spaces are safe, secure and stimulating environment for young people. So we definitely saw a need for a space for the young people to come in an afternoon and just relax, and this can actually develop their cognitive, physical, social, emotional abilities.
I have been a member since I was 4 years old in this club. It was very innovating, enjoyable. I learned to work with peers, socialize, and this taught me many things in life.
What I could say to the youths around is that the Police Youth Club is a very encouraging place. It's a very welcoming place, a place where you could come for safety, a place where you will be loved, a place where you could come to do anything, basically, and where we could come to do events and socialize.
The transformation of the building came thanks to a collaboration among the Digital Foundation, Tobago House of Assembly, the Judiciary, and the Charlottesville Police Youth Club.
I'm happy to be here to celebrate with the Charlottesville Police Youth Club on this milestone. In fact, earlier this year, they reached out to me as the area representative about acquiring this building. This building has been here in the community for years. It has been locked up for years because we have not had a magistrate court here for a while. And so I reached out to the Chief Justice, Honorable Ivor Archie, and we agreed. We have an agreement between us that the Tobago House of Assembly will assist the judiciary in repairing the court in Roxborough, so that soon the court will be back up and running in Roxborough. In exchange, they will allow the THC to use this facility for the purpose of the youth center.
and there are more buildings to be repurposed soon for the benefit of youth skills training.
We're happy that we're having this kind of partnership happening, not just at Charleville, Palliative Care to come. We also looking at doing similar things at Signal Hill, and we want corporate buying. We want corporate Tobago, corporate Trinidad and Tobago to partner with us. The same way Digicel stepped in and assisted in ensuring that the funding could be had to do a lot of the work here. We want more corporate partners to participate.
The physical work to transform the building was conducted by members of the Police Youth Club. They were assisted by the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. The Charlottesville Police Youth Club was started in 1996 and relaunched in 2013. Football was his first sport, but tennis is his first love for 13-year-old Tobagonian Bijan Hall. Since picking up a racket, Bijan has not looked back. In this story, we'll tell you his secret to success. Have a look. From his first serve of the ball, Bijan Hall did not look back. It was then and there that he fell in love with the sport of tennis. He's only 13 now, and young Mr. Hall is already a rising star, having only joined Crusoe Isle Tennis Club in 2018. Recently, Bijan won the boys under-14 singles and doubles categories in the 45th annual RBC Junior Tennis Tournament in Trinidad.
What made me choose tennis was basically, it was really the second sport I really ever played. Before, I used to play football. When I started tennis in 2018, I started to watch it on TV in 2019, and that's when I started to kind of excel more. I never really liked it before. I wasn't too good at it. So when I started tennis, it was exciting. I love the coaches, the people, the courts, playing on the courts, the balls and stuff. To football, tennis is more, for me, more skill, more mind to put into it.
Coaches have to ensure their athletes understand the sport, analyze their performances, and instruct them in relevant skills. Coach Anthony Williams says he's been impressed by Bijan's dedication since he first stepped on the court.
He's extremely committed to the process. He trains hard. He works hard, consistently. His result in the last RBC tournament is indicative of that hard work. To win any event in Trinidad and Tobago in any category, it means that you have to go through a series of top national players. And he accomplished that, beating the #1 seed, who is also a Tobagonian.
There's a saying that hard work pays off, and Bijan says he is putting in the work.
When I won the match, a feeling of happiness came over me. Like I won a tournament for the first time also, and for the doubles it was the same thing. The hard work you have to put into it, you have to sacrifice a lot of hours. Your body also, injuries may come along, so you have to take care of your body, make sure your mind is ready to go on the court, not to give up, play every point like it's the last.
Bijan plans to enter more national junior tournaments. He says this will give him valuable exposure before he transitions to international competition. The Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, continues to invest in Tobago's advancement through online communication and technology. This time, the organization is supporting our small tourism property owners. Here are some of the highlights of the organization's work during its most recent visit to the island.
Owners of accommodations like Native Abode in Bon Accord and Adventure Eco Villas, Farm and Nature Reserve in Adventure are doing all they can to ensure that they stay relevant, especially when it comes to branding. So a workshop at the Mount Irving Bay Hotel titled Building Your Brand as a Small Property was timely. It gave small property owners in the tourism sector the perfect opportunity to benefit from new ideas on effectively marketing their businesses online. The seminar was the result of collaborations between the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, and the Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association, THTA. It focused on areas such as importance of a vibrant and dynamic social media presence, health and safety certification, and creating sustainable and community-oriented tourism opportunities.
The idea of digitization is going to be very critical to the success of all businesses in the tourism sector, and especially so for the smaller properties. We know it's a challenge to deal with that expense-wise, and coming out of COVID even so. So we are quite grateful that the IDB has chosen to partner with the sector in getting this aspect up.
We realise that we have to digitalise our presentations. It is harder for the smaller properties because they don't have the kind of staff numbers that the larger properties have. So we're just trying to bridge that gap. And again, could not be more thankful to the IDB because it's been an excellent programme.
Officials from the Tobago House of Assembly as well as the central government applauded the work done by the IDB and the THTA. They believe that it will help property owners understand the potential that proper branding has for their businesses' success.
Building the brand for small tourism properties in Tobago allows small hotel owners to establish a voice in the local, regional, and global tourism markets. Understanding the importance of building your brand helps you get more bookings, improve recognition, makes your product more memorable, and increase the overall value of your product.
Building your brand and effectively communicating your story will allow visitors to understand what is your value proposition, and then it must be matched by the experience and service offered.
The IDB also provided support to the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, TEMA. In this case, it was with the handing over of a drone, which will increase TEMA's capabilities in responding to emergencies and mitigating disasters. The IDB's country representative, Karina Coburn, explains why the organization has invested in the island's development.
We've always paid very close attention to make sure that this is always included. Activities in Tobago are always included in all the projects that we do with the government. So we expect to see that there will be further advances in this respect, and we want to support the country and the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago as much as we possibly can.
The IDB also launched its Blue Economy Challenge at Buku, a competition that invited people to share how they see our marine environment working for them. The IDB will continue to provide assistance where possible. The organization's activities are meant to better the lives of all citizens on the island. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
We have to take a break, but don't go away. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
I am Anton Jordan, Building Superintendent of the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment. I took the vaccine because I have 3 children. I don't want to be wondering what happens to them in the event that I have to be hospitalized from the coronavirus. Right now, we are heading back out to work. More likely than not, we may encounter someone on the job either has the virus or has been exposed to someone with the virus. Please, we all have to do our part. Vax up. Protection starts with us.
In our final story, food prices are increasing, partly due to the impact of the pandemic. But one Tobagonian is doing his part to help this island achieve food security by making his own rice, and he's encouraging others to follow suit. Josanne Brassi explains in this report.
As Oprah Winfrey always says, doing our part and having faith will allow things to happen for us. And that's exactly what Felix Heinemann did. A resident in Tobago for 34 years, Mr. Heineman had with the big dream of making his own rice. He's now the only Tobago resident producing locally grown Mill Hill rice, having achieved his dream on April 24th, his 66th birthday.
What makes the work tough is the sun. If you could be out early and out late in the evening, it's not hard to go. I would take you outside and show you I have a tree that grow, just fall through the back door and grow for itself and bear. So you would understand that, it's resistant. It's just like any other grass, but just that it's rice. So it's not hard. The hardest thing about it is to maintain it and clean it.
Mr. Heineman says it doesn't take much to plant your own rice during the rainy season. Those who want to keep planting throughout the year will need an irrigation system. This type of crop is what's called a hill rice. It requires watering at least once per day. In the end, Mr. Heineman says his project is not about money.
This is just a pilot project. Right now I'm a pensioner. The money aspect is not really what I really all about. I'm interested that everybody in Tobago who interested get some rice to plant, and when they're ready to mill it, they know that they could get it milled. If the government want to use it as a pilot project, I could offer my advice and incentive, and they could take it at a different level.
Mr. Heineman says getting involved in agriculture and planting food is no easy task. He says being a successful farmer requires heart and a willingness to do the work that's needed. Mr. Heineman says although he encountered challenges with getting his rice milled in Trinidad, or setbacks can be the setup for a comeback.
It has always been about self-sustainment. That even if you're buying the food, the chemical contents that you're buying is not too good. So you might have the money and buy the food, and you still might have to go by the doctor after. But if you grow your own food naturally, you know what you're growing. And I recognize that Tobago have good soil. So I said if this rice could grow in Trinidad so good, it might grow better across here.
Persons are already looking out for his crop to hit grocery stores. But Mr. Heineman says his main focus is to share the plant to ensure there's sufficient food for everyone in Tobago. I'm Josanne Brassi for Let's Talk Tobago.
We have come to the end of yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Remember, you can email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information on Glasshaven Villa, you can contact Keston Morris at 754-1989. From our house to yours, I am Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe, enjoyable, and productive week. We'll see you again next week. We leave you now with this montage of Glasshaven Villa.